Great day, attractive thinker. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance. We are so delighted to be with you. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist, where we provide these mental tools that uproot those paralyzing thoughts that are blinding you from seeing that your dreams are possible. Welcome, my co-host, Tichet Bradshaw, to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. It's such a wonderful day to do what we've never done, to go where we've never gone, and to be what we have never been before. There's so much in store for us. It's such a great day to be alive.
Yes, it is. Attractive thinkers, you hear us say that all of the time. It is a great day to be alive. And we are so glad that you're alive. We're so glad that you are with us and joining us. And we love your comments and your feedback. Thank you so much for clicking that like button, clicking that share button, and subscribing to our YouTube channel, because other people are being benefited by you sharing this message. And we're glad that you're subscribed so that you don't miss any of these episodes, because it's not that they build upon each other, but you never know where these messages are going to find you in your day. A message that you may have heard last week is going to come back to you when you need it the most. You might be out and about, or you might be in the middle of a situation, or in the middle of a decision, or coming from a heartbreak, or going into a heartbreak, or in between successes. I had an attractive thinker share with me just this week that they were building up to accomplish this goal, and they were really excited, and the day came, and it was time. It was almost like lights, camera, and action, and they accomplished their goal. They stepped forward and made it happen. And then while they were sitting in my presence, I saw that the countenance drop. I saw the energy leave, and they were like, now what? And to share, we did an episode on that. How do you live between the breaks, between successes, between accomplishments? Now what? Between those two powerful energies, from energy to energy, from that elevated, powerful, fire determining energy of accomplishment to the next energy, because there's a dip that happens in the middle. What is life like now? How do you function in that now? And that's why we are so delighted to share with you these episodes and Beyond the Break, because they support you in between successes and in between breaks, and while you're in a break, and even moving towards a success. I've had another attractive thinker share with me that she uses our messages and our tools and strategies that we share to support her throughout her day. When she's very stressed, her stress levels are high, or things are coming all at her all at once, she'll step away and use some of our attractive thinker strategies and some things that she's heard during our messages to help her get through the day. So this is working, and we are so excited. This is working, and that's the whole mission of the Attractive Thinker movement, and why we do Beyond the Break these episodes, to heal 1 million plus minds, to support you mentally, to give you the tools that you need to step into life, to encounter life, to handle the circumstances along the way, because we don't know what's going to pop up along the way, to support you in the down times and in the high times, the breaks and the successes. So you have what you need right now, attractive thinker, and we are delighted to show up for you. Today, we're going to be talking about, why me? What did I do? Now think about this for a moment, and I'm sure a lot of you have said this before on your journey up until this point. You've encountered a circumstance or a situation or a block or an obstacle, or something unexpected, and you found yourself saying, why me? What did I do? I know I did. I found myself saying that. Early on in my life, when I encountered this defining moment, I crawled inward. I took it personal, when not understanding that it wasn't personal, it was preparation. It took me years to understand that it was preparing me for the work that I do today. I wouldn't even be sitting here before you today sharing these messages and this insight and wisdom and these mental tools had not I experienced that defining moment. But when it happened, I wasn't looking at being prepared for anything. I didn't want to be prepared for anything. I just wanted the heartbreak to stop. I wanted my heart to heal. I wanted the solution that I was looking for. And when I said, why me? What did I do? That immediately I began to go inward and take it personally. And then as soon as you say that, then all of your stuff comes to the surface about how you don't feel good about yourself and how you're not worthy and how you're not deserving and everything that's wrong with you. And it looks like you look back over your life, it looks like everything was against you. And why me? What did I do? Who said you had to do anything for life to happen to you? That's the question. Who told you? Who told me? Where did I get that belief from that when things happen in life that are contrary to my desires, that it had to be something that I did wrong? But that was my belief back then. And that's a tormenting thought. And that's why, as an attractive thinker, I'm glad that you're here because we share mental tools that help you uproot those paralyzing, tormenting thoughts, because those thoughts are not going to support you in coming up with a great result or a better outcome or fortifying you to endure. Like one of our last episodes, Fortified to Endure. Those kinds of thoughts are not going to empower you and fortify you to go through whatever it is you have to go through, because there are some things in life that we just have to go through. There are other things in life, whereas we have decisions and choices, we can alter and change and shift some things. But there are some things in life that you can't do that with. You have to go through it. And in going through it, you become strengthened. You discover these treasures and amazing things and powers about yourself that you didn't know you had, and you take those that you discover and you use them for the next opportunity or challenge or obstacle or circumstance in your life. You just grow and you get stronger. So when you say, why me? What did I do? We're here to support you and encourage you in seeing a different light and shifting your view just a little bit. It's not about why you, what did you do? You didn't do anything. You know, there's a phrase, and I say this a lot. It was a picture that I posted on my Facebook page of a lion. And the picture goes something like this, and I'm paraphrasing. He says, don't think that I won't eat you just because you won't eat me. Don't think that just because you won't eat me, that I won't eat you. Don't think that just because you're dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's, that life isn't going to throw you a curveball. Don't think that, because that kind of thinking can cause you to not see the opportunity in the challenge. It can cause you to go too far deep down on yourself, and you miss the opportunity to grow. You miss the solution that life was trying to present to you, because life presents itself in an upside down way, and we're responsible for flipping what we see. I was sharing with Tichet not long ago about how the eye works, you know, how we see things. You always hear me say it's not what you're going through, but how you're viewing it, how you're viewing, how are you viewing it? And the way the eye works is we see things upside down. It's the retina. When that image hits the retina, it's at the retina where it gets flipped right side up. And then that message is sent through the optic nerve to the brain to tell the brain what it is that you're actually seeing. So without the without the retina doing its job of functioning like it should, we would be seeing things as they are, upside down. I want you to get this. It's the retina's job to turn it right side up so we can determine what the image is, so we can see it more clearly. If the retina is not functioning, we're seeing things upside down, and we're making decisions based on a faulty image, something that's not right side up. It's not in this rightful place or position. So I say that because you hear me. Beyond the Break is about supporting you How do you function in life beyond a break? Well, one of my breaks was my son losing his vision. And I say, you may have heard me say it in some of these episodes, we should not put so much emphasis on the fact that we broke as much emphasis as we should put on what actually broke. Not that something broke, but what broke. His vision. So let's go deeper. What about his vision? It was his retina that was affected. And when I study, see, do you see how a heartbreak can pull you in a certain direction and lead you towards something that needs your attention, something that has a message in it for you? That heartbreak shifted your attention to a certain thing. So instead of just looking at that certain thing in its broken state that it broke, go deeper, go beyond the break. That's what we're here for. Go beyond the break and look a little bit closer. And when I looked a little bit closer and I started studying the retina and how it functioned, I understood how I should be seeing in life. It wasn't what I was going through, it was how I was viewing it. If you don't use your attractive thinker lens and shift your circumstances, shift what you're seeing, you're looking at it upside down, and you're making decisions on an image, a circumstance, a challenge, an obstacle, a problem that's upside down. So you're not getting the result that you would get if you flip it and turn it right side up. What do I mean when I say flip it and turn it right side up? Instead of experiencing the circumstance or looking at the challenge and creating a story from it and giving meaning to an upside down image, flip the image and create a meaning that's empowering to you. Create a meaning whereas you can get a great result. Create a meaning that will produce a good outcome. Because I always say, if it's not good, it's not God. So if it presents itself to you and it's not good, we are responsible for flipping it and making it good. Because everything God made, he said, it is good and it is so. Tichet, talk to us today. Help our audience understand what that means when we say, why me? What did I do? And what can we do about that?
There's a thing that you said at first. You said it's not necessarily what you're going through, but how you're looking at it, right? So our perception of why we're going through things makes such a big difference in the world. When we're going through things, we wish that we knew what we knew now. Beyond the Break gives you so much insight, so many things you could see that came out of it. You could see what you made out of Beyond the Break, but it would have been nice to have that when you are right there in the break, and we say hindsight is 2020. If I'd have known, I would have did something different, but this is where trusting comes in. It's hard to trust when you're in the middle of the break, when your mind is frantic and trying to figure everything out, and you're on the go just trying to relieve the pain. See, we go through life just trying to have comfort, but not realizing there's more to life than just comfort. We are an answer in the earth. We have to remember why we are here. The perception of why we're here will make all the difference in the world. And Dr. Toni, you said that when we break, there's something that comes out of you. There's something that comes to the surface. And that thing that comes to the surface is the gift. The reason why your heart broke is because what's in you needed to come out. And we say, well, it's not fair. Why me? Because you are the one trusted with the gift that is meant to break generational curses, that is meant to break generational hindrances, to help the blind see, to help the deaf to hear. It was meant to help others through as well as yourself. But truly, truly, the answer is because you were called to the deep. If you weren't called to the deep, then you might not have made it through that moment. You might not have been called to that moment. You might have just went through life easily, but you were called to the deep. That means there's something deeper inside you. There's something of depth inside of you. So when we look at other people and we see them go through other stuff, do we say, oh, they must have did something wrong? Or I'm talking about those of us that call to the deep. I'm not talking about those people that made us see that we did something wrong. That's why we deserve this. I'm talking about those that are called to help the deep, the ones that are called to help the ones that feel like they're drowning, to help to save the hopeless, the ones that help shine a light on the earth, to be a salt in the earth. So when we ever look at other people and say, yeah, they deserve that. Yeah, what could they possibly do to deserve what they're going through? What could one possibly do if you're a person of a good heart and you try to do what's right by people and you're living your life doing the best you can with every given moment? No, you're not always doing everything right. No, you don't always have the answers, but you're just doing the best you can with every moment. What could you possibly do to deserve a heartbreak? What does anybody do to deserve a heartbreak? So why would we say that to ourselves? Why do we get in a habit of saying that plus this equals that? It's just not adding up with that. So just because I made one little decision, even if it was in a good heart, even if I only had part of the pieces in order to add it up to become something, I deserve that? No, that does not add up. You're a pure heart. You have a good mind. You use your mind. You're mindful of other people. You're always helping somebody. What did you do to deserve that? Nothing. But what's in you needed to come out. And sometimes things don't always come out until there's a break. It's hard to see a light or let the light in until there's a break in the surface. And when there's a crack in the surface, this is where you expose what's deep and what come out of you. A lot of the people that we admire today, a lot of the people that we read, a lot of the books and the stories that we hear, these are all conquerors. These are all people who have made it through something. These are not people that, oh, they just lived and just they had it easy all their life and then they died. No, this story is about conquering things. We're discovering along the way. We're discovering our gems. We're discovering ourselves. We're discovering little pieces here and there that might not even be for you at the moment. It may be for you later. Everything that you are receiving now could be for later. And you think that it has one meaning now, but experience will teach you later on that it had a bigger and a deeper meaning than you could ever think or believe. You never know. You could be sitting on a movement. You could be sitting on something grand or big. But I promise you, if you make it through this, if you understand that you are fortified to endure, and you stand through your tests and trials, in the end, what a great day to come to your full potential and say, I never thought I could make it through that, but God, I thank you for helping me get through that. And I thank you that even though there were some sacrifices, even though there were some things that I didn't want to happen, I'm thankful that I'm able to be an answer in the earth. I'm thankful that you called me, that you chose me. I'm thankful, because we don't want to ever go through anything in vain. Even if you felt like you did do something to deserve this, it doesn't feel good to think that. So why do we do that to ourselves? That is a heaviness that we don't need to carry around. Even if you felt that guilt and that shame that comes with that statement, why did I do this? What did I do? That guilt that comes with that, we don't need to carry that. That's the type of stuff that keeps us from seeing the answers that stand in front of us. Also, Dr. Toni, you said you talked about flipping the retina and we're seeing the images opposite. That is a mind-blowing thing when you think about that, because when we look at stuff, we trust that it's right side up. We trust that it's exactly what it sees. But as you have said, you help us see beyond what we're looking at. So when we're looking at something and we're seeing the surface of it, can you imagine all the things that you can't see? Can you imagine all the things you don't know about it? There's so many answers standing in front of you you don't know. But in order for you to see it, you got to flip the script. You got to look at the thing through and through, up and down, in and out, so you can make sure that you have a clear understanding of exactly what's going on here, because I guarantee you what's going on here has nothing to do with the surface thought that you're thinking. So when you say, why you? Yes, why you? Why you? That's a different tone that I'm saying. You say, why me, as in victim, as in, why does have to happen to me? And you turn it into, why me? What is in me? What does God have for me? What is the blessing in me? Why did this happen? I'm determined to find it out. It has to have some determination. And then when you push past all of the misunderstandings and all of the woes and all of the distractions, when you push past all of that, it will be revealed why you. It will be revealed the greatness that's inside of you. It will be revealed the power that has been crying to come out from you. It will be revealed all the things about yourself that's suppressed and that you hid and that you thought wasn't good enough. All of that now comes to the surface. All the things you second guessed yourself about now can be used, now can be brought to the light. Now it's helping save lives. The very thing you said wasn't good enough about yourself in the midst of your heartbreak is now being used to save lives. Imagine that. That's a good why me. That's a good why me. I made it through this. I'm not going to make it for nothing. I'm going to make something out of this. I'm not going to live in vain. I'm not going to let my pain be in vain. I'm going to get something out of this. So when you say, why me? Let that be with determination. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome, Tichet. You know, while you were talking attractive thinkers, I'm sure you have your attractive thinker notebook handy to capture these gems. While you were talking to Chef, some things came to me. Number one, I want to honor the attractive thinkers who are going through a heartbreak right now. Something broke your heart. When we share information, we're not talking about, oh, get over it. Oh, you need to be looking at it this way. Oh, you don't need to feel this way. No, 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 no. We honor where you are. We honor the heartbreak because we both have had multiple heartbreaks in our lives and we know what that feels like. We know what it feels like when you're in it. So we're speaking from that place. So we know exactly where you are, but we're also on the other side of these heartbreaks. And we know what life is like at beyond the break as well. And we're here to support you and give you the courage, the strength, the resources, the inspiration, the new vision, the clarity that you need that will pull you, that will sustain you through this heartbreak and pull you to beyond the break. I hope you get that. Sustain you through the heartbreak and pull you to beyond the break, life beyond the break, because it is possible. It's coming. It's just a guarantee as long as you don't quit. And we're here to make sure you don't quit because there's greatness coming out of you as a result of what you're going through right now. And I know that might sound crazy, might sound corny. You may have heard it before, might not sound real, but trust me, I lived it. I'm a living witness. I'm a living, breathing person. And so is Tisha who have experienced this. And we're here to tell you we're on the other side of our heartbreaks. And we're here with a bullhorn to tell you, hey, don't give up. Hey, hold on. Hey, it's okay. Hey, I know it's hard. Use this tool, use this strategy to hold yourself up, to hold on to your strength, to strengthen yourself. Sometimes you have to lean on a stick to hold your weight, to hold yourself up because you can't carry the weight of the thing all by yourself. You have to lean on a good friend, a real friend, somebody you know has your back. Sometimes you have to lean on God and lean on a word, you know, that you heard years ago. That word you heard years ago, you may not thought of apply, but now you're going through something. That word will come up in your spirit and you can hold on to it. It will strengthen you. It will give you a different outlook. Because how you see a thing determines everything. And once you see things differently, you can function differently. You can think differently. You can make different choices. So we want to honor where you are, attractive thinker. And we're here to sustain you through this heartbreak to get you to life beyond the break because it's coming if as long as you don't quit. That's the first thing I wanted to mention. The second thing was we have a tendency to slap a meaning on our experiences. Who taught us how to do that? Something happens in our life. You're walking down the walkway and you trip on a rock on the pavement and you give a meaning to that. Who told you that that was the right meaning? There are a million and one different meanings that we could give to our circumstances. Why choose that one? Why did we choose that meaning? Why, when life broke our heart, we said, why me? Or I knew nothing good was going to come my way. I knew something was bound to happen. I was too happy. Or I knew I didn't deserve this. Or I knew this was too good for me. Where did that meaning come from? Our meaning comes from our belief system, how we already are believing about ourselves. So you're walking down the sidewalk and you trip on a rock. If your belief system is you don't feel like you're good enough, you're going to always find a meaning to your circumstances that validate you not being good enough. Whatever that might be, you're always going to come up with something to support the fact that you're not good enough. Yeah, these shoes was too nice. You can't go nowhere looking too nice. That's for other people. Yeah, I had to break my heel on the sidewalk because it's just the way it is. We'll come up with something crazy to validate or give meaning to an experience which aligns with what we already believe about ourselves. But if your core belief is you're great, and God has his absolute best for you, that, like Tichet said, it's a great day to be alive, and you appreciate that life. You walking down the sidewalk and you break your heel on a rock or whatever, you're like, oh dang, let me run ahead and get a new pair of shoes. And you're thanking God the whole time that you didn't break your ankle. You're thanking him the whole time that you have another pair of shoes to wear, because some people don't even have a pair of shoes. You're finding all of these reasons to be grateful about tripping on a rock on the sidewalk, because your belief system, you fixed it. You set it in place. You already got that straight. Life is not happening to you, but happening for you. Things that come into your experience, you have the power to flip that script, give it a new meaning, and produce a result that leads to good. If it doesn't present itself as good, you have the power to make it good. Think about that attractive thinker. That's a whole different perspective, which produces a whole different outcome. So we have a tendency to slap a meaning on our experiences. So you want to be mindful and make sure that you're placing an empowered meaning, a meaning that's going to lift your spirit and help you to rise above the situation and produce a great outcome. So one of the things you mentioned, Tichet, you said we don't get that really big meaning, the bigger picture. Sometimes, and I wrote in my notes, sometimes we don't get the real meaning of what we're going through until years later, as we continue to go and grow to our full potential, and to the place where we can see more clearly. So we say, why me? What did I do? I hope you understand now that it's not what you did, it's who you are. Tichet said those breaks happen because there's a gift inside of you. And when that break happens, it's just like, oh my God, Tichet, it's just like when a woman's water breaks. It just happened to be time. It doesn't mean it was something that she did. How many times we hear stories of women like, oh my God, like if somebody don't get this baby out of me, like I'm tired of carrying this baby, like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. This baby better not grow anymore. I can't stretch anymore. No matter what she does, she can't make her water break. It's timing that makes the water break. So could it be the reason our hearts broke, it was an appointed time for the gift to come forth, for us to discover who we really were, for us to get crystal clear on what mattered and what didn't matter, for us to get crystal clear on our purpose and what we're supposed to be doing on earth and who we're sent here to help. Could it be that our heart broke because there's greatness inside of us, and just like a seed planted, it was time for it to burst open so it can produce fruit? So it's not about why me, what did I do? It's not what you did, it's who you are. It's who you are, like Esther. Could it be that you were sent here for such a time as this? Could it be that your heart broke for such a time as this because the earth needed what's inside of you? And a lot of times we can't produce without the breaking, because think about it. If it's all locked up inside of your heart, how is it going to come out? Pain is a motivator. It's an indicator. It has a purpose. It does things. It gets our attention. Pain moves us. Even in the entrepreneurial world, they say, what is your client's pain? What problem are you solving? Again, remember, we want to see life as all good, hunky dory, cheery, everything, whatever. And we want life, an easy street or whatever. But life comes with problems, it comes with pain, and we're supposed to flip that into a solution and into healing and into prosperity, into greatness. We're supposed to take that and do something with it. So when we give meaning to our experiences in life, make sure we're putting a meaning on it that's going to benefit us and others. Back to you, Tishette.
That's absolutely true. Put a benefit on it that is meaningful to us and others. That is crazy because you don't even think of it that way while you're in it.
Mm-mm.
Because we're so caught up in the hurt. We're
Mm-hmm.
caught up in the pain. But like you said earlier with the giving birth,
Yeah.
oh, how is it that a woman, we go through so much for giving birth, and I'm not going to get graphic, but there's a lot of us that know what comes with giving birth,
Mhm.
okay? And there's a lot of pain that comes in that. We look at the power that women go through in order to bring a life into this world. When you're in the middle of the pain, you have to focus on the life that you're bringing in this world in order to get past that pain. That's the same thing you have to do with this heartbreak. Focus on what you're bringing forth in order to get past the pain,
Yeah.
right? And we go through all that pain, we give birth, and we go cuckoo cuckoo to the baby, and oh, I just love him. And it's not that the pain went away. It's not that we forgot the pain. It's just that at the end of the day, what was birthed out of the pain became stronger than the actual pain of itself, because we can endure pain and we can heal through pain if we really want to, but we got to put our mind to it. And we have to expect that we're going to get through it. See, when you're waiting to get through something without that expectation that you're going to make it through it, it seems like it takes forever.
Mm-hmm.
And when you seem like you're going to be in something forever, it seems like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, and you have no idea how long it's going to be. You start feeling more and more pain mentally, and then it ends up inflicting you physically because your expectation of the pain grew. So your pain actually grows because you're focusing more on the pain than the light at the end of the tunnel. But what happens if you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel? What happens if you don't know when this baby gonna be born? What happens if you've been in labor for days on end? I was in labor for 11 days. I'll make sure my daughter know about that too. But I was in labor for 11 days. And if I had to go back and do it again, honestly, I would do it again. Why? Because the person I gave birth to, the life that I created out of that was worth me laying upside down for 11 days. Now, while I was in the middle of that, it was rough. It was rough because the whole time I was there, 7 of those days I could not eat. All I could eat was ice chips. I was starving. Yes, we are starving when we go through things in life and we want things to go our way. We are starving for something. We are starving for some kind of answer or some kind of change, some kind of shift. You want something, and you want it now. Your body and everything in your life is giving you warnings that you need this very thing to happen, but then you're just sitting in pain. So then you start to think that the pain is forever, and you start to wallow in it, and you start to get not comfortable in the pain, because who gets comfortable in pain, right? But you start to become more addicted to it. And when I say addicted to it, you start to see your life without. You start to not see your life without it. You start to think this is forever, and that makes your pain so much worse. But at the end of the day, after we're done pulling out everything that came from it, we'll end up going back and doing it again. We'll end up having 3, 4, 5 children and doing it over and over again, and we'll bear that pain over and over again. And I'm sure each time we go, oh my goodness, for them contractions ain't nothing to play with. So if you're dealing with a heartbreak, could it be a contraction? The question is, what are you giving birth to? If you don't know, if you're saying why me, then the assessment right now for you to take some time, sit by yourself, listen to that quiet spirit to let you know what's in you, to point out the things that you might have overlooked, the things you might not have seen, so that you can see the gems and the jewels that is upon you. And then you got to understand that none of this is for nothing. We all have a cycle of life, right? We all have to be born, and then we all have to die. It's a cycle of life that we go through. What we do in between birth and death makes all the difference in the world. So if in between this birth and this death you experience a whole bunch of heartaches, what did you do about those heartaches? What could you bring out of those heartaches? What could you make that could make a difference in the earth so that the other people behind you who go through that heartache might have your answer? This is what we mean when we say don't go through something for nothing. The reward not only feeds you, it feeds others as well. It not only feeds others, it feeds you as well. It's double-sided. We are not here just to, you know, give birth, grow in inches, wear clothes, shoes, cars, houses, and then die. There's more to life than this. We are cultivating in this life. We are taking dominion over the earth and subduing it. We are growing things. We are creating new stuff. We are advancing in different technologies in different areas of our life, and we're doing it in a quick way. There's a lot of expansion that's going on in this earth even right now. So while we're going through pain and while we're suffering with the heartbreak, life is still going forward. It's just we have to have the courage to make the decision that we're going to take part in that life that's going forward, regardless of the pain. Because out of this, I'm giving birth to something. I'm giving birth to something. And let me tell you something. If this pain is too much to bear, this is why you have people like Dr. Toni and myself to help you see that this is not for nothing. You're giving to help you keep your mind focused on what you're giving birth to help you to breathe when you need to breathe, to push when you need to push, to rest when you need to rest, to make sure that you give birth healthy, that you give birth to a healthy ministry, business, maybe whatever you are giving birth to. We want to make sure that you go through it with ease, go through it with as much ease as possible. Now, let me tell you something. It might not always be easy. Your mind can get you through something and make it easier. But we're here to help you find whatever ease you can to slide through that pain so that you can allow your stuff to fall out the way that it needs to. So you can allow, and when I say your stuff, your gems, your jewels, the things you learn, the stuff that's in you, the reason why you're here has to come out. We're not here for no reason. And sometimes we get caught up in skin and bones, but life is so much more than skin and bones. Life is so much more than getting stuff on a physical level. There's so much more to you than that. You're way deeper than that. And some of you, if you're sitting through our episode after episode after episode, you know there's more to life to you than the surface pain. You know there's more to life than you than that first meaning you gave it. When you talked about that first meaning, I said, you know what? That first meaning had an expectation on it. When you expect something, a lot of times that expectation is going to draw to you. So if you expect to be in pain, you're going to be in pain a lot longer in your mind than you need to, where sometimes you could have only been in pain for about a minute or two. Because 2 minutes of pain and contractions is a long time to go through pain. If you're in the middle of it, it seems like we feel every second and every minute. But when you are focused on something, you can bear it. And that's what we're here to do, help you bear it so that you can give birth properly, so that you make sure that at the end of the day, you're looking in your mirror and you say, yeah, that hurt, but I wouldn't change it. Yes, that tore me to pieces, but out of it, I became a powerful person. Out of it, I have a message. Out of it, I birthed a ministry. Out of it, I birthed a business. There's double for my trouble. You know, some of you that's sitting in hurt right now and sitting in pain right now, I want to encourage you and tell you there's double for your trouble. You have to be in receptive mode. And although sometimes receptive mode is not easy, when you're in the middle of pain, this is where you push past what you think you know, because it's the things that you don't know that can make the biggest difference in the world. Find out all the different wisdom and all the knowledge and understanding that you don't know, because there's a lot of programs out here, there's a lot of answers out here, there's a lot of things in this earth to help you. We are not the only ones to go through everything, even though we feel like it. So it's best for us to go through together. We might not know your exact pain, but we know pain. We might not know your exact story, but we all have a story, and we all have a piece of the puzzle that we can put together and make such a big difference in the world, so that we can reveal the bigger picture here. There's always a bigger picture. And that's what we put the hope in the bigger picture. Put the hope in the spirit. Put the hope in the fact that you are loved and you are worthy and you are able to make it through all this. You are more than a conqueror. Put your hope in, when I get out of this, there's going to be double for my trouble. We all made it here for a reason. This cycle of life, it happens. There's so much more to being born and dying. So let's see why. Let's see why you. Let's see what's in you. Let's see what's being poured out of you. Let's see all your puzzle pieces. So I'm looking at each and every one of you and saying, let's see what you got going on here. Because if you got to go through all that, let's make it into something. I'm into making something. You know, all the people who like to cook out of nothing, you can make a meal out of what seems like nothing. You can take, you got one egg and, you know, you got only a cup of flour, you'll still make something. Let's make something out of this, because what you're going through is not nothing. It's everything you need to turn into your powerful, true self. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
Awesome, 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 Tichet. You know, when you said, let's move on, or let's live on, or let's see what this is going to be, that was one of the things I said to myself. I have to live right in the middle of my pain and my heartbreak and that excruciating feeling and those crazy emotions. I said, wiping my face, I said, I don't understand and I don't know why, but I just made up my mind. I'm going to live to see what's on the other side of this. I'm going to live to see what this means, why this had to happen this way. And I'm glad that I made that decision by the grace of God. And what I want to say to you, attractive thinker, is it's easier to go through a heartbreak or even a break in a success when you're going through it with someone. When you have people to lean on, people that are strong, people who know there's greatness inside of you, people who see you for who you really are, and they love you anyway. And they've seen you in your good times and in your bad times. Those are the real friends. And I was thinking while you were talking to Shet, if I had beyond the break, give yourself a fighting chance, when I was going through my defining moment, I could have expedited my process. I could have cried a little bit less tears. I could have had a little bit more clarity. I could have been stronger, quicker. I could have been more resilient and flexible and bounced back to my authentic self quicker or sooner. I could have probably even been better for my family, instead of them seeing me, functioning in brokenness all of the time, and taking so much time to recover. If I had had episodes like Beyond the Break, Give Yourself a Fighting Chance. So we are honored to gift this to you, these episodes, to support you in life beyond the break, to support you while you're going through your break and push you over the hill to life beyond the break. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist at theattractivethinker.guru, where we provide these mental tools that uproot those paralyzing thoughts that are blinding you from seeing your possibilities are real. Your dreams are real, and life beyond the break is real. I want you to visit our website, book your coaching session, your complimentary Get Unstuck coaching session, so you can get on the right track, shift some things around and flip that script, give your experience a new meaning so you can produce an outcome that's favorable and that will move you forward in your life and others. Tichet, tell our audience how they can get in touch with you, the visual encourager.
Absolutely. You can find me on my website at www.visualencouragement.com. We provide mental support for movers and shakers trailblazers, pathfinders, and groundbreakers, people who desire to move mountains but need little help lifting the heaviness so that they can live out the life that they created in the vision of themselves. Go to my contact us page, put in your information, let me know how I can encourage you, enlighten you, and uplift you so you can live a life of fulfillment. Again, that's www.visualencouragement.com. See you soon.
Awesome. Our life's work is always to make your life better. Remember, it is not what you're going through, it's how you're dealing with it. Think attractively. And we'll see you soon.